Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us for our Wednesday weather update, recorded July the 26th. Just in time for a cold change to arrive over the North Island. At the moment on the animated wind map, a very strong southwesterly blowing around Auckland with gusts to gale force and above. Around Mahia Peninsula, a strong southerly also brushing the coastline of northern Hawke's Bay and around Gisborne. And then there's another surge of windier weather coming in down around the lower part of the South Island, and then another surge tomorrow moving up the country. So this is a classic cold front moving in with a big area of high pressure parked there over Australia. We've also switched on the temperatures on the animated map today. So the blue means below zero, so clearly below zero down towards Antarctica, but also up through the Southern Alps as we come in towards this afternoon. All right, let's have a look at rainfall for the next couple of days ahead. This is from Wednesday, actually 3 days ahead, 72 hours. Most of the rain, the heaviest falls are in the red shading. So that's down here around Fiordland National Park and up here around Mahia Peninsula and Wairoa. So those areas have around about 20 to 30 millimetres, maybe a little bit more for some parts of Fiordland, up around 50 millimetres there. But the green and the blue, bottom of the scale, just a couple of showers. Because the mountains and ranges are sheltering you from that southwesterly flow. And over here, it's the southerly coming in that's producing rain there, but drier for Bay of Plenty. In Australia, your 3-day rainfall forecast shows rain around Perth southwards, also Victoria, Tasmania, and around Cairns and northern parts of Queensland. That's the heaviest rain there. The Keys not up on this map, sorry, but only around about 20, 30 millimetres for that area and just 5 to 10 millimetres elsewhere. All right, let's get into the forecast now. So for Thursday, another burst of wind moving into New Zealand. This is 10 o'clock in the morning. Gale force winds down here around Fovo Strait, and Stewart Island. Also in these coastal zones coming up. So places like Otago Peninsula could have gale force winds. Not quite as windy for the north of the country to begin with, in that green shading, 20 to 30 k's an hour. But as we move in towards the afternoon, this is lunchtime, so 2 hours later from that wind map, shows those windy conditions moving up and back into Auckland again. So Auckland has another risk of gale force winds on Thursday afternoon. Your sort of traditional stuff though with this setup. And down in the south here, Dunedin, Invercargill, the Catlins, Gore, those areas all getting a colder change with that southerly knocking back in again and another temperature drop. Also a burst of snow flurries on the mountains, not only of the southern part of the South Island, but central parts of the North Island. And if we're not talking about you much in Australia, it's because there's not a lot going on with that big area of high pressure bringing colder nights and then beautiful afternoons for most of you. And that high remains in charge on Friday. It stretches out a little bit towards New Zealand. And so the South Island should calm down a wee bit. Drier and lighter winds for you on Friday, but still that southeasterly flow bringing in wet weather for the eastern side of the North Island on Friday. But it does disappear as we go on towards nighttime, and those windy westerlies and showers carry on for Victoria and Tasmania, and in fact getting into ACT and Canberra. So this weekend, Saturday, mostly settled for the North Island. There will be a couple of showers because at this time of the year they're very hard to get rid of, so a few light showers around and a bit of rain coming into Fiordland for you. On Sunday, a few more showers up the western side of the country, but dry pretty much everywhere else. Temperatures are around about normal, but with the calmer winds, the nights will be a bit colder and there could be a few frosts around in the morning, although not frosty over here with those windy nor'westers coming into Tasmania and Victoria and a little bit into Adelaide as well. By Monday, similar story for Australia, still windy for you, and those windy westerlies from Tassie coming over to join the South Island, but the North Island more like New South Wales and Queensland with lighter winds, maybe a coastal shower, otherwise mainly dry. That's all from me. Back again tomorrow with our next update as we take a look at the weekend and, of course, the outlook for next week.